Let's be real, lying about having kids to your partner, that's not just a red flag, that's a full-blown emergency alarm. But why do people do it? Fear of judgment? Shame? Maybe they think that their past disqualifies them from love or a fresh start. But here's the thing, when you hide your truth, you rob someone of the chance to choose you fully. Tonight on the Black Table, we're getting into the lies, the reasons behind them, and the fallout when the truth finally shows up. To do justice to tonight's conversations, we're going to be joined by a man who wears many hats and rocks every single one of them. He is a singer, a model, a transformational speaker, and the CEO of Ray Nation Global. You may know him as a source, full force behind the Ray Nation band, or the man who stole the spotlight and the crown on Big Brother Naija 324. He's going to be joining us pretty soon. But before we introduce him, I'm going to be introducing the man to my right. Of course, we know him as the most faithful man in Lagos, a well-earned title. He also goes by the sobriquet, the mayor of Agoge. He is a man with wisdom beyond his years, a radio powerhouse. He's got the wit, the charm, and the bars. Let's welcome the bar master, Tien Gang. He's here temporarily. Yes. Because once we have Kelly Ray,
the bar in we'll go to minutes.
Yes. I think that place, is a good spot.
I don't like sitting on the table.
Yes, because a barman represents wisdom.
Yes.
And with
I'm out, you know when they say think outside the box? I'm actually outside the box. So I see some things you guys on the table don't really see. And then I interject.
Yes. And we respect you for that.
I thank you. I thank you for your respect.
You've had a lovely week.
Well, God willing, we've made it to the end of another week.
All right. Fantastic.
April is very funny.
Yeah,
the way it started with traffic and showers and rain and this and that. But Easter's around the corner, so we'll be celebrating our Lord very pretty soon.
Very great. Great. And finally, the last but definitely not the least, the man who can talk his way out of anything. He's smooth, he's strategic, and he knows exactly how to keep the conversation flowing, whether it's charming his way into a debate or finessing his way out of controversy. Deck is the navigator that keeps the Black Table from crashing and burning, and recently he picked up a new moniker, Lamba London Boy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I've always wanted to do that. That sounds great.
I am not the person they're talking about. I'm literally not the person they're talking about. Anyway, it's always wonderful to be on the Black Table, and even when I'm not on the Black Table, I miss Black Table because it is always a delight having this chit chat with men of honor, men of valor, men that
There's
matters.
only one man of
men
honor
that matters in society. Men of Agoge, I see you.
I see you.
I greet you.
Your political career is safe.
Yes.
You have no problem here.
Thank you.
All right,
how you doing, man?
I'm not drowning.
How was your week?
I'm not drowning. That's all I'm going to say.
That's all you're going to say.
I'm not drowning.
Okay.
I'm head above water.
Okay.
As you know, the Black Table is the ultimate men's guide, and if you have ever wondered what your men have been up to and the way they think and function, then you're on the right show. I am Olamide, of course. Remember, you can use the hashtag The Black Table on TVC across all social media platforms to be a part of the best late night show on Nigerian television. You can also watch us live from absolutely anywhere across the world through our mobile app that you can download from the Google Play Store or iOS. We also implore you to follow us across all our social media handles, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, all at TVC Entertainment _. And of course, the _black _table on _TVC. All right? Just follow all of that. And then, just check us out and see how we're doing on social media. We will take a quick break. When we return, the show starts properly. Somebody help me call Kelly Ray. But you're back. Media personality. Okay now. Okay, welcome back. It's still the Black Table. And of course, we'll be diving into the first quick fire. All right. Media personality Ife has raised a topic on X, which has gotten a lot of mixed reactions. She tweeted, if you don't have access to your partner's phone, they are hiding something from you. You're both married, so I'm going to ask you this question, starting from you, Dek, because I'm looking at your wife right now. She's somewhere on set. Dek, does your wife
have access to your phone?
Yes.
Does she have access to your phone?
Does she?
Yes.
Does she?
It's not a rhetorical.
You can ask her now.
No, we don't
No,
want to ask her. We're asking you.
Why
You should know.
me?
Does she have
It's
access
a
to your
yes
phone?
or no.
Well, no, she doesn't.
So I have a follow-up question.
Yes.
Do you have access to hers?
No,
Why?
I don't know. It's her personal. It's a personal,
It's a personal
property,
thing, yeah.
right?
It's a-
And so, for me, right, it's, I'm not the kind of guy who literally, cares about who you're talking to or what you're doing. Do you understand what I'm saying? But it's a matter of respect for me. I respect her privacy. She, respects whatever it is that I call my privacy. I know that a lot of people who don't understand will say that, there shouldn't be that kind of privacy amongst husband and wife and what have you. Well, the truth is this, right? If you go around looking for something that's not lost, you might definitely find something that you're not looking for.
Some will argue that that's a man speaking.
Well, it's what I believe.
All right, let's take the spotlight off you and then go straight to gang.
Oh,
No, we're going to you, gang. The same question, does your wife have access to your phone?
If she wants to.
If she wants to, what
Yeah.
does that mean? Can you elaborate
Let
more on
me
that?
explain, and this is real facts. There was a time I used to password my phone. Do you understand? But it even became stress to me. So now I leave my phone without a password. When my kids were a lot younger, I don't know what witchcraft they used to use. For some reason, they always knew how to unlock my phone. You get me? And by locking my phone, sometimes it almost seemed like I had something to hide, but I didn't. But there were some things that I should have hidden.
That does
Do you
not sound
understand?
funny to me.
It's not funny, but it's real, because here's the thing, I'm old school. I grew up at a time when there were no phones. I started living life at a time when there were no phones. So phones were not really a big deal to me.
All right, gang, all that thought. We'll take a quick break, yes?
Yeah.
When we return, we'll continue with this and hopefully, expand a bit more on it. It's still the Black Table, the Ultimate Men's Guide. We'll see you shortly right after this break.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
All right, the conversation still continues, but before we go back to what we were talking about before the break, I would like to introduce a man who wears many hats and rocks every single one of them. Is a singer, a model, a transformational speaker, and the CEO of Ray Nation Global. You may know him as the soulful force behind the Ray Nation band, or as the man who stole the spotlight and the crown on Big Brother Naija 2024. He's here to talk about purpose, passion, and pushing boundaries. Give it up for the one and only Kingsley Sule, also known as Kelly Ray. Hey! Yes, we finally got you in the box. Yes, this is not as safe as the other show we had you on, but yeah, hopefully we get you, speaking.
No problem.
Yes, but before we go into that, I know you've talked about this a few times, and I know we had the conversation earlier about it. Why did you go on Big Brother with the strategy of not letting people know you and your wife were together?
If I hadn't done that, or if we hadn't done that, they would have boxed us. Being in a show and people refer to you as Kasia's husband, or they refer to my wife as Kelly's wife.
Kelly's wife, yeah.
Yeah. There would have been this isolation from us. Maybe during parties and all, won't feel free, to feel like, oh, these people, we're all singles, and these people, they're married, or don't do this, don't do that to them. Yeah. And then there's some things we would have done, the others would have felt like it's because they're married.
Yeah,
they're trying to do too much. Do you get? So
I get you.
I just wanted to be free like every other person.
That's a nice strategy.
Thank you. And welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yes, this is the man's... this is a man's cave, basically. So you're free to say anything. The only thing is that don't get caught. So before you joined us, we were talking about if your wife. He talked about his wife, and he's done that. But I didn't let him finish because I was going to introduce you. But before Gang finishes up what he was saying, I'm going to ask you: does your wife have access to your phone?
Yes, she does.
Men. You see, this is a gentleman. Okay, so why do you allow your wife to have access to your phone?
You said this is a gentleman. Is it because, is it a show of a gentleman? It's not because I want to show that I'm a gentleman. It's because if she doesn't have access to the phone, it will look like there's something inside I'm hiding. Okay. And then I don't feel like it's an argument that a man will ever win. In our world, because it would be like, okay, and her phone is open. You can have access to her phone. What is there that you're hiding?
Exactly.
It's supposed to be my privacy, though.
Yeah.
But then, if you're married, if you're married, is there really supposed to be
privacy between you and your partner?
Do you understand? Yeah. So I don't think it has anything to do with being a gentleman. For me,
I'm going to lean towards what you've said. Gang, you were saying something.
I love his remark. He's spoken like a man that has two phones. So to say what you were saying, do you understand? I've gotten in trouble a couple of times because I'm always like, you have access to what you want to do. Do you understand? But in terms of privacy, sometimes you might be suspicious. Sometimes you're like, you go snoop around. And I'm like, I really don't have anything to hide, but you'd be surprised the things that people see and take personal.
Yes, actually.
Do you understand? I know somebody that was having a conversation with his cousin, and his girl was like, who is this? Because it was another female. And it's like, this is my family member. So you never know how people will react to things that they really don't even know much about, and they don't want to ask those questions. The first thing is that in terms of privacy, is my phone is your phone. What do you want to do with my phone? Is your battery dead? Do you want to make a call? Are you trying to reach somebody? What exactly are you going through that makes you have to have, you have access to it? But if women, I'm not saying women are the only ones that go through phones.
A lot of guys do it, by the way.
But if they really want to have access to just a phone, they should have access to more important things in your life. Access to your bank accounts, your passwords, your pins.
They'll find it on the phone.
Do you understand? Your pins, your passwords to your email, so many other things. Why does it have to be the phone? Because they just feel that is the mode of communication with other people. So I think there are more important things than your phone that they should be worried about having access to.
All right, thank you. I think the basis generally is just trust.
Can I buttress something?
All right.
Because you just said they should have access to your emails. What if she wants to check who you sent money to through your email, though?
So that's what I'm saying. So in terms of privacy, do you understand?
I know what I'm saying, man.
Listen, I get where you're coming from. That's what I'm talking about. What level of privacy do you have? And this is, I have to say, because I've had this,
that's a nice question. What level of privacy do you have as a married man or a married woman?
Forget the marriage now. What you do for a living, the nature of your work. There's certain conversations, certain documents that your partners shouldn't be privy to.
Why?
Based on your line of work.
But why though?
Because your contract, for example, if you work for the government, there's some things your wife should not know.
But they say two become one.
That's in dreamland. Do you understand? There's certain services if you work for, they will let you know in terms of privacy. If you work for the government, you should have a line that is for you, and then you have a line that's for you and your family. Why does your wife want to know? Like, let me talk about the president, for example. Why should his wife know about certain strategies he's trying to use in running the government?
At this point, I'm going to the next quick fire.
Do you understand? The fear of exposing certain vital details to other third parties.
But ordinarily speaking,
confidential.
Thank you.
I'm just going to say this and then just let it go.
Classified, need to know basis.
So we can take our next story.
Tech is on point.
I feel that if you want something to work and last long enough, you need to be as transparent.
True.
As a book. That's what I'm going to say. So our next quick fire comes from Over the Borders. A man sues a paramedic staff $40,000 for saving his life. Daniel Hughes was involved in a car accident which left him unresponsive until paramedics arrived and acted swiftly by performing CPR and other emergency procedures to save Mr. Hughes' life. When he woke up in the hospital, he sued the paramedic for ignoring the DNR, do not resuscitate, tattoo inked boldly on his chest. Now, let's quickly talk about this. I don't want us to take too much time on this. What do you think about the story?
Well, I don't think I grasp, what must have transpired between the both of them, But what I do know from what you have said is the fact that a man clearly doesn't want to, leave anymore, and
so
has
he was
decided that
very dangerous.
I want to be unalived, right? And so I don't think that he would win the case, and I'll tell you why. The reason is because the paramedics are trained to always save lives, right? I believe that's one of their oaths, right? And I believe that if the man decided to do his job, right, I don't think the first thing you'll be looking out for when you're trying to save a person is, oh wow, where is his DNR? Where is the DNR? Where is the tattoo that he wrote DNR? You understand what I'm saying? So the first thing he's trying to look for is what I need to do to resuscitate this person, to save this person's life, right? So for me, I don't think there's any. I mean, if I didn't see this clearly on screen, I'll probably say that this is some sort of joke or something, or maybe some prank or
the
something
honest truth
like
is, I think the guy was just clearly dangerous. But Kelly, what are your thoughts on this particular story?
Well, for me, I don't think there's a case there, though. I don't think there's a case there at all.
Absolutely.
Because they did their job.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But if it happened in this part of the world, you don't go with that, though.
No, if it happened in this part of the world, I can bet you the person never go. You see, one of the things that I really love about Nigerians is don't fall down on the road. Don't try to die on the road. Don't try to kill yourself on the road. That is when you will understand that Nigerians care about you. But on the other hand, they don't care about you. They care about the fact that you must stay in this life together. We must be suffering.
Yes, we must go through it together.
You are not going anywhere. Guy, you are not dying. We will, they will do anything.
Interesting take on that.
I'm telling you, they would do anything to make sure that you stay alive.
What's your take on it?
So many points to come off. First of all, what happened to him was an accident, and he has the tattoo on him. If I see a tattoo of DNR, I don't know what it means to you. When you tattoo that on your body, I don't know what it means to you, but at the same time, I'm not seeing a document or form or contract where you say, you understand, it's very passive, and I know what my job is.
If DNR can be do not run.
If you understand, exactly.
True that.
So at the same time, You know, they have to do their jobs, which is to save life first.
Right.
And if you're that eager to die, why are you suing people? Go and kick, go and jump off a bridge.
Exactly.
I'm not saying you should,
yeah.
but I'm just trying to say, if you're that eager to not be
You
resuscitated,
went to a dark place,
do
didn't
you understand? If you're that eager to not be resuscitated, you're here fighting for, what is the lawsuit for? Maybe you're eager to die. What are you going to do with the winnings? Or whatever it is. So I just think it's something that will be thrown out of court at some point in time, but it's just for the drama, for the whole...
Yeah, thank you very much,
Mm.
gang. The next one, I'm going to start with Kelly Ray. Usher Raymond's recent performance star has become a thing of worry for many married men and boyfriends across the world. Recall that Usher was saying recently at one of his shows, feeding a woman grapes in a very flirtatious manner. This, however, has created a mini war amongst genders, with the women saying they obviously and absolutely love it, and the men are saying otherwise. When they're saying it's thirsty and disrespectful. Kelly, you do music. A lot of people might not know that, but have you ever been in a situation while you're performing where your wife felt uncomfortable based on how you approach a certain type of performance or song, and how did you play it out?
I don't know if she has ever felt uncomfortable, but she has never told me anything like that.
So you've never done anything like you know,
I do my job really well.
So it's your job, you're playing a role.
Yeah, but if you know me, you know that when I'm on stage, that is another Kelly entirely. Do you get?
Yeah.
When I'm on stage, I don't see anybody and I see everybody. It feels like there's one other thing that enters me, you know.
Yeah.
But as soon as I leave that stage, it's someone else.
Okay.
So I can do whatever, although I know I have my boundaries. Yeah.
So what are
because
your boundaries?
Usher,
I want to know.
Usher, you, it was clear now. He had his
Yeah.
boundaries. Yeah, because he felt that he did not kiss her. Some other persons would have kissed. Yes.
Yeah.
There's this old school singer. Is it Teddy Pendergrass or one of them? He used to kiss.
Oh, really?
Yes. You put the mic. You sing. When you're done singing, he will kiss you. Yeah, I think the guy sang, "Baby, I'm all just like another guy." He will kiss you. So I think he knew that he had his boundaries.
Yeah.
He just did his job. He was there to actually serenade the ladies.
Yeah.
He did his
and
job.
that played out well because
Yeah.
ladies love Usher Raymond.
Yeah.
They love him for what he does.
He didn't do anything he wasn't supposed to do.
Your wife is over there, so I'm going to ask you.
Is your wife an Usher fan?
Thank you. I knew I was going to ask that. Is
Can she
your
go
wife...
for an Usher concert?
So one of the things
Don't be diplomatic
So
about
I'm not even
this.
going to be diplomatic because it's the truth.
There's
My,
no
my wife is
navigating
not
this.
even the kind of person that gets starstruck. Like I will be the one going, my God, babe, look at, oh my gosh, like what is the, I don't understand, what is the issue?
But
Why
what
are you
will
shaking?
take you off?
You understand? She's not, so my wife is not the kind of person who would look at anybody and, I have a feeling that if my wife was the lady with that grape, she would just take the grape and use it to hit his head. Like, are you okay? Why are you coming too close to me? You know, that kind of thing. You know, so my wife is
We're
not.
talking about Usher Raymond here.
I'm telling you, let it be Michael Jackson coming back.
That would be
again.
strange,
He
yo.
will hit his head. See, my wife is not. She's not that kind of mushy kind of person. You know, understand? She doesn't see all those kind of things. Although she likes the video, but. Even if the video comes right now, she just greet you, how far, what's going on, she will move on, you know.
Okay.
So she's not really that kind of person. But
Okay.
if she were to be that kind of person, I would believe that she would respect the fact that, you know, I'm with my husband, right? I'm married.
But
right?
contrary to the
You know.
reports going around, the woman that was in that video, the viral video, she's not married.
She's single.
Oh, she's not married.
Single, yeah, she's single. But,
Because she
you know,
seemed very into it.
Yeah, she's not married. She's actually divorced. So
Oh,
she was
right.
just having a good time. I really don't
Having a great
see-
time.
She was having a great time.
She seemed like she wanted to, you know, she wanted to,
She wanted more.
She wanted to go all in. You know, she wanted to, yeah, you know, she wanted to.
Like she's been longing for that moment.
Yeah.
You know, she wanted to be.
But,
you know,
but from me, from what I saw in that video, she wanted to be seen, and she was seen by
Oh,
someone,
yes,
and she was
absolutely.
serenaded.
Absolutely.
Gang, your thoughts on the video?
Kelly said it most. You know, when you're a professional, you're a performer.
No, I don't think he's done anything wrong, by the way. I think
No,
Usher
he
was
knows
doing
what his job is.
Yeah.
Do you expect him to be serenading a man?
That would be
course
weird.
not.
You know what you came for. Let your lady have a good time. No lines were crossed, but the lines came really close. And
But
everybody's
honestly speaking, I feel if I'm there with my woman and then there are certain guilty pleasures that are allowed. Usher Raymond is someone who we all know over the years has become, a sex symbol of some sort, a crooner. And there are times whereby men really just let a woman have fun.
Yeah.
It's like going to a gentleman's club and then, you're making such a big deal.
Do you go to gentleman's club, Olamide?
Do I go? Is that a rhetorical question? But yeah, I think the noise in the media and on social media, everyone has a right to their opinions, and everyone can say what they want to say. But it's Usher Raymond that we're talking about here.
I mean,
it's
so
Usher.
So
Usher did no wrong.
I didn't want to say
He
anything.
did no wrong. Yeah, he did no wrong.
Why do I feel like this is going to go bad? Anytime I say I didn't want to say this, but I didn't want to say this actually. But, so the thing is this, right? We must really understand where to draw the line when it comes to performing, right? And I'd like to say this because I know there's one artist in Nigeria who, at some point, complained that ladies were, sexualizing him.
Oh yeah.
And he felt like they were coming on to him. But after a while, I noticed that he started coming on to them. In turn, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So we know who you're talking about.
I'm just saying that if you're performing, right, and you're a performer, right, and you're trying to be sexy to the, of course, the opposite gender and what have you, you should be able to draw the line on where, okay, you're trying to do something to a lady and then you stop, like, you tease people and what have you, right? I felt like if we're to go by the civilized country, somebody can sue Usher for
what?
misleading her.
I don't think so.
No.
Misleading her. He was very sensual.
No, I don't think so.
Oh my God!
I don't think so.
That auntie was there.
She was the one who was into it, man. Usher was just doing his job.
Can I just toss something in real quick? If my partner or whoever it is says they're going to church.
I thought you were the most faithful man in Lagos.
Yeah, I'm just giving you an example. It is. If your partner says they're going to church for vigil, you know what to expect.
Absolutely.
If they say they're going to a Chris Brown concert, you know what to expect.
Right.
Yeah. You're going to an Usher concert.
But if they're going to a
do you remember when Bangali was all over the place giving people the cocoa?
What to expect.
You know what to expect. So you can't tell somebody go for an Usher concert and you come back and Usher serenaded your babe.
My babe should be at the back. Now why is she in front?
Did you have a good time?
It's her fault, it's not Usher's fault. Now come on.
Okay, so Usher is the victim.
Usher is always the victim. Usher is always the victim because everybody knows his performance routine, and they're still gonna come. They're still gonna have a great time,
and they're gonna look forward to it.
And you serenade someone.
For many years now, Usher has been a resident in Las Vegas, which is where it shows. So anyone who's coming to watch Usher perform is expecting some form of serenade.
And they're even hoping that they're the ones. I'm very sure there's some guys that wish he would serenade them.
Right. Usher was the victim.
Sorry, hold on. Say that again.
I'm very sure there's some guys that wish that he would serenade them.
What is going on?
You're going dark again. Stop, man. Stop.
What's going on?
So let the ladies have their fun. We have our fun when the time comes.
Yeah.
All right. With that being said, we take our last quick fire. A Nigerian man, Damilola Christian Amadi, has said that a married man who lives in his father's house is a very lazy person. Now, I know you all don't live in your father's house, and if you do, I'll be shocked. Have you ever met, or do you know of a man who is married but still lives under his father's roof?
Yeah, the question was coming. Someone just
Oh my
God! You know
this guy, he was in his father's house, yeah. So he left, and he came back.
He left his father's house. Then
Bro,
returned.
it's not easy, man. Okay, on some terms, we say he's wrong, but I cannot term you a lazy person because
it's circumstantial.
Yeah, because I can't use my own to judge you because we all know what we're going through.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I would rather have you leave your father's house because you want to show me that you're a man, and then frustration make you commit suicide.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So just anyhow you can survive, just survive.
My brother.
That's for me.
My brother.
Survive.
Oh, Makbarare. Oh, Makbarare.
Does that mean?
That is, don't kill yourself, my brother.
That's what I'm saying, man. Don't because you want to
put
prove a
tattoo
point. Because you want
on your
to,
chest.
yeah, because you want to prove a point that oh yes,
That
just
your
man
point
survive,
that
man.
you said there. I wanted to end it with oh yeah, so paper. My guy, look, let me tell you something. You see, these are just unnecessary belief systems that are unrealistic. Let me tell you something. You see, we make rules for poor people. If my dad was Otodola, I would stay in that house. It's our house, my father's house.
You want to
know
ask
why?
actually?
Because my father has a 16 mansion bedroom, fully en suite. I would take 5 out of it. I will sleep in this room today, sleep in that room tomorrow,
You take
sleep in the other room.
in the house,
Come and tell me that I'm lazy. Come and tell me. So the only reason why we look at it this way is because, you know, poor people.
It's the poverty mentality.
It's the poverty mentality.
Yeah, that's true.
Because look, if you are rich, if you are wealthy, right, you will not think about the fact that you're living in your father's house. My father, look, first and foremost, I wish my father was still alive for me to even be able to stay with him. Do you understand what I'm saying? But my father my father has, gone to be with the angels, all right? And then somebody is telling me that somebody that has a father is living in his house. In this economy, my brother,
with the bills.
may the Lord
I'll
bless
live in my
you,
father's
bless
house
you
right
in that
now.
house. My brother, stay in that house.
I think now it's even a privilege to have a father whose house you can stay in. Man. It's even a privilege, man.
Exactly.
It's
See,
a privilege, man.
I was having this conversation during the week with some people. I said, people are in a rush to go and start paying their own rent. Do you understand? The cost of rent, the cost of buying your own house as well. So if you have some of these things that can take away from you in this day and age, come on.
Maybe if we're not so much that we're even looking for house, maybe house rent will reduce.
Do you understand?
I'm telling you.
It's really, see, here's the funny thing. I don't know how people attach lazy with that, when to an extent it's a smart way to economize certain things.
And build your house quick.
Let me ask you one question. At the end of the day, if your father passes away, who takes over the house?
My brother, tell them.
It's actually
Tell
like
them.
it's as simple as mathematics.
Tell them.
Mathematics isn't that simple. But thank you guys for your different summations on the quick
If my brother did not take my daddy's house,
This
I would
issue,
leave
you're
my
taking it
mother's
personal. What's the problem?
I'll tell you what we think, because here's the thing. For example, now, their houses and their houses. If you see some people's houses, you ask yourself, why should you ever move out of this house?
Do you get?
Bro, have you seen the houses?
Uti last week was going like, it was really going like, who made the rules?
Do you understand?
Who said that?
I'm
People
telling
just
you.
follow, people just follow these
Thank you
rules.
for all the things you said last
I'm
week.
telling
I
you.
know of a
Who
family
says that?
I know of a family that have basically an estate. The dad has his house and he has different. There's one place in Abuja where, like, there's a duplex for this child, a duplex for this child, duplex for this child. So the question is it just your father's house or if your father is paying your rent?
You know,
When you get married and your dad says, I give you this house, or I'm paying
in my
your rent,
thoughts,
where do you draw the line?
anyone lives under their parents' home, that person is rich. That's all I can say. You know, on this note, we take a quick break. When we return, we'll take our first Would You Rather and the mate topic for tonight's Black Table.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Would you rather date someone who is incredibly attractive but has zero ambition, or someone who is average looking but highly driven? Let's check this out.
Look, first of all, I'm very protective, I'm very jealous. It's done. Like, there is no conversation around it. We're not talking about anything. We are done.
Question her, why did you do that? And it all depends on the answer she gives to me.
I will feel hurt, please, but I'm going to warn him. She not try it again, please. Don't embarrass him like that.
Well, I'm a liberal person, and
now fine, I want you. No, now, like, I have to go for somebody that is ambitious instead of the good-looking thing.
average looking and very ambitious.
I love ambitious men. You have to be very ambitious. Don't worry, when you have money, the looks will come.
Very ambitious, but it's depending on how average though.
I can do average looking and very.
Unfortunately, none of us here can answer that question because Kelly Ray is married, Deck is married, and Gang is married.
I think we should say something though.
Yeah, okay, so
we can still answer.
I can say something.
Yeah, you can.
First of all, it depends on your definition of beauty.
God bless you.
Yes, for me, if you're not ambitious, you're ugly, man.
Wow.
Beauty for me is not just about your face. So I think that answers it.
Nice one. Deck, do you have something to say to that?
Well, one of the things that I told my wife when I met her was, look, you must understand that I want a woman that can take care of the home whether or not I'm there. It takes ambition for you to have a woman who can do that. And I can boldly tell you that my wife takes care of the house every time that I travel or whenever it is that whether I'm there or not. And this is not because she's there. Whether or not she's there, I would always say this. My wife is she's a woman king. And that's a fact. That's on
sell your market, girl.
That's on period.
Sell your market, Deck. Wife is in the building.
All right, Gang, your thoughts on that?
Who are you to determine that somebody is attractive and not in the first place?
Wisdom.
Who are you? Do you understand?
What measures, man?
Do you understand?
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen people are saying, oh my God, this person is so attractive. I look at the person, I'm like, I don't see what you guys are seeing. Who are you to say somebody is attractive and not? That's number one. And like Kelly said, ambition is key. You have to be an ambitious person. Who looks help? That so-called attractive that you're talking about, if it's too attractive, it's attracting other people, not just you. So let's stick to the ambition. Your looks, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. We are all beautiful in thy sight. We all make sense physically. But if you
just go biblical.
If you're not ambitious, it's a problem.
Yeah, it is.
I think ambition is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beauty.
It's not ambition, it's a problem.
Ambition for me is a quality of a partner. If you're not ambitious, for goodness sake, what exactly are you doing?
What exactly are you doing?
That would mean that I would have to exhaust my ambition to give you a little bit of ambition. Because I would have to always work hard for you to take a cue from what I'm doing.
All right.
So one more thing first, because I can't be the only one here that hasn't put my wife on the pedestal. For those of you who know my wife, you see how attractive and beautiful she is. She attracted me.
So she got
me.
Yeah.
She's got both ambition and beauty.
I think I'm not supposed to say anything because they all know.
They know.
Yeah, you've seen her. Y'all seen her though.
All right. So our main topic for tonight, I'm just going to give a summation of the story. The home of a Nigerian couple living abroad descended into chaos when the wife discovered that the girl her husband brought from Nigeria to live with them is actually his biological daughter. In the video shared online, the wife is seen confronting the husband about the girl named Chioma, whom the husband claimed was his niece, and the wife only discovered when she found out that wasn't actually his niece and that was his daughter. The husband begs her to put off the camera. In the video we all saw that, but she calls him a bloody liar and asks him to get out. The wife then insists that Chioma, who appears to be a teenager, must leave the house. Now the topic is this: why do people lie about having children to their partners? And of course, why did he lie about his child? Did the wife overreact? And was the wife throwing a minor out in the streets the right solutions? Now, there are a lot of things that men find very difficult to discuss with their partners, especially if they are strayed maybe before they met them or during the marriage. So Kelly, you in the entertainment industry, and of course being the recent winner of Big Brother Nigeria, that comes with a lot of pressure. Now, how would you handle a situation like that? If by chance, you slipped, you fell, and you landed in, and then there's a child in it, how would you tell your wife?
Or would you tell her?
Or would you tell her, yes?
First of all, I'll say this, this is where proper communication comes in. Now, when I say proper communication, is broad, Communication for me is, many times we listen to respond, we listen to attack, we don't listen to understand. Now, if I tell you a certain truth today, because sometimes I might want to tell you something, but I might say something else to see how you will react. If I tell you, and I think it goes for everybody, if you tell someone a certain truth today, and the person reacts a certain kind of way, you might not want to tell them some other truth again.
True.
Now, not because you really want to hide it, but you want peace, you want to protect your home and all that. I'm not saying is a right thing for you to hide it, because if you have to cover a lie, you have to tell another lie to cover that lie.
Exactly.
And then for how long are you going to?
Too many lies.
Do you understand? So first off, I cannot say the woman overreacted or not, because you cannot tell someone how to react when you've done them wrong. Yes, that's one. But on the other hand, I feel she would have been more empathetic on that girl. Do you understand?
The girl shouldn't be the one receiving all of that.
No, I can still understand if she reacts to the girl, because do you know if the girl has been playing along, and then in her head, if she has been playing along, it means you and my husband, you guys can actually just collab and do something to me, and I won't even know. I'm just giving excuses for her. But if I were in her shoes, I think the person I would have faced as a man. Not that girl is just a teenager.
She's innocent.
Do you understand? Even if you want to send her away from the house, at least not immediately where she'll be stranded. Do you understand? Then on the man's part, he would have mentioned probably the woman, because the way she was shouting in the video, it feels like she'll really be hard not to crack though. But he would have, because if you had something like that and then it blows up another day, it's even worse for you. So he would have just told her.
All right, so Deck, your wife, I'm looking at your wife again. Let's say, let's play out a scenario. You have a child by another woman outside of wedlock.
Never. Not Deck.
Not Deck, yes, definitely not Deck. Everyone needs a Deck in their life, by the way. And then you want to tell your wife. How do you tell her?
Okay, so the good part is the fact that, like you said, my wife is here, and we have actually talked about this issue before. My wife is not the regular type of woman.
I'm not talking about your wife. I'm talking about you. How do you tell her?
Let me tell you why I said that. The reason is because if peradventure I have a child outside, my wife will not kill me. Do you understand what I'm saying? However, this is not to say that I would do something like that to disrespect her. There are certain things that I would just not do. I would not allow to happen. This is not based on confidence. It's just based on, my respect for not just myself and not just the marriage, but my respect for the woman I call my wife. Do you understand what I'm saying? There are certain things that some men do that just requires some sort of brain reorientation, because I can't understand for the life of me why you would have gone to the extent of impregnating another woman, having a child, and then you let it degenerate to the point where you think it is sense for you to bring that child into your house and claim that child is for another person, that this is your niece. You see, like you said, like Kelly said, you must understand that one lie will continue to breed another.
Exactly.
How long do you want to keep that up? How long do you want to... See, there's no way. You can never treat someone else the way you treat your children. You will always have love for that child. Your wife will find out one way or the other. Do you understand what I'm saying? So for me, personally, I don't see myself trying to even get myself into that position at all in the first place.
Don't do.
There's no... See,
do not.
You see, because the truth is this, right? You don't want to put yourself in unnecessary mess. It's just heart aching. If it happens, babe, it don't happen. Oh yeah, shall I pack my load and go?
Yeah.
Or please just help me. She says no. you know what to do. But there's no point hiding it at all in. See, it will never play out well. It will never work out.
Never.
Okay,
Gang,
I have to come in real quick. Here's the thing. There's so many angles to look at this from. One of them is when you have children out of wedlock, how do you tell your current partner that you have such? And like Kelly said, sometimes you can test them with certain things to see how they react.
Exactly.
And it makes you say, I would rather hide this than tell.
Have a conversation.
You get me?
Yeah.
Because I know of stories, there's some people that were raised by their grandparents, not knowing that this was their parents. Women have had kids that they also have done the same thing. This is not new. This is not the first time this is happening in this kind of scenario.
How do you communicate it to your partner?
So that's the funny thing. Sometimes when you know the kind of person you're with, sometimes people don't want to lose the person they're with, and they hide behind certain lies. There's no gain in that, especially if the lies will be uncovered later on. But there's so many things to look at. I always say this. Now let me take a moral high ground. This is why they say no sex before marriage. Do you understand? So that you guys meet yourselves as virgins, so that there's no drama involved.
Pressure.
There's no pressure. But if you meet a man that has already been sexually active and has been with multiple partners before meeting you, there's some things you should ask yourself. When a man meets a woman that has been sexually active with other partners, there's some questions that you should ask. For example, if a man was to say, have you had an abortion? Or he doesn't know how many abortions you've had before you've been with him, and then he now marries you, and then conception seems to be some kind of a problem, and then he now finds out that you've had a particular amount of abortions that you never told him. Does he have the same right to say, you didn't tell me about that abortion? Because the thing is, I kept mine, you didn't keep yours. So that's what happens when you are sexually active couples that have lived so many lives and have now come together. So the thing is, you don't want to hide any secrets. You want to come out and say, this is what we're doing. This is the situation. This is where we're going to. So the man has hidden this thing. Like you said, the daughter, to an extent, is innocent.
Oh, she is, definitely.
She has no say in this. But now she's being treated ill, thrown out of the streets.
Guilty by association.
She is a future mother-to-be as well.
And you know the bad part. Sorry to interrupt. You know the bad part about this, and you know what I would say is the after effect of this. Even if they do settle this, is the fact that that woman will never show that child love.
True.
Consciously or unconsciously.
Yeah, because there's a sense of betrayal.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time she looks at that child, she will always remember the betrayal. That's a fact.
Because let me tell you how deep it is for some women. I don't want to speak for women, but let me tell you how deep it is. Knowing that you have a child, that means that child has a mother. That means there's another woman in your life.
Exactly.
So what is your relationship with the mother of the child?
And you can never take that away. That will always be
and you
there.
can't take it away. She's even lucky that it was a girl. If it was a son, she would have lost it even more.
All right, so final take from Kelly.
On this issue?
Yes, on this.
I think couples should be more open. Yeah, whatever it is.
More honest.
Yeah, more honest. Speak to each other. Talk more. Connect more. And as you're being open, be good listeners and be understanding as well. I think that covers everything.
Thank you very much. I'm going to take a couple of feedbacks on social media. And then there are a few traditions that we do. We have something we call Just a Tip, which I think you just did, which was like a final take. And of course, we have our toast of the week.
Okay.
And we added something very new. It's our woman of the week. So it's just celebrating friends, loved ones, colleagues, you know. Yeah,
I'm just hearing this too.
So yes, you're just hearing it. That's the whole idea.
On the main show.
On the main show, yeah.
Okay.
So let me quickly take the social media comments, and then we'll take the toast of the week, and finally our woman of the week. So Adayo says, Omo, checking my partner's phone broke us up. I saw things and he go defensive.
He go far.
He go defensive. Okay, I'm like, WTF? You can see me naked, but I can't see your phone. Okay, okay. So that's from the first story we took. And then at Remy says, Kelly Ray in the building. Alpha, my guy.
I'm good, man.
Afunke says, leave Nigerian men out of the phone thingy. Very selfish men. It's a good thing I'm not Nigerian, by the way. They come up with don't touch my phone rules because they are bastards. Wow. Talking about don't touch my phone.
That deep.
Yeah, when the girl's phone rings, they stretch out their necks like ostriches to see who's calling. Oh man, wow, this girl the vex. I forget. Sorry. Enter. Atumishe says, even if my man gives me access, I won't. Last time I tried, I cried. I guess that has to do with still checking our phones. And then we have Atsuki says, I love Kelly Ray. I'd also allow my wife access to my phone as long as I don't have anything I'm hiding. Kelly Ray, you see, you got people supporting you on that. Tbenga says, I'm talking for all the men. Usher is beginning to do too much. You're Eta, Tbenga. As Shiju Ade says, before we judge, I beg, let's imagine the roles were reversed and the woman brought a son or daughter claiming that it's a nephew or niece. How would you react after finding out? Everybody reacts different to things. Women are more emotional. Well said, Shiju Ade. At Mark 1 Inzi says, more reason why I will never marry but just have my kids and raise them by myself. I think that still has to do with
you
the
have
story.
to impregnate yourself too.
Exactly. I felt that the girl's pain, the woman totally overreacted. I can't blame her though. It's in their nature to react before thinking. In bracket, women. Now, that is Mackenzie 1. There's probably a guy giving a feedback on that. Interesting quick fires, interesting stories, and interesting would you rather today. But yes, we will be taking our toast of the week.
Okay.
Yes, so guys, what are we toasting to today? Kelly Ray, since you're the first time on the show, I think I'll let you give us a toast of the week. Glasses up?
Empty glass.
You want some?
No.
Well, man, here, toast to more money because I think there's
more money.
More money, man.
More money.
More money.
More money.
Cheers, guys.
All right. Well said, Kelly Ray.
No issues in the home.
No issues in the home. Yeah. You see,
no unwanted children.
No unwanted children, please, man. No checking of phone.
No checking of phone.
All right, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so to round up the show, I'll take our woman of the week now. Titali Layadelagu, popular Narcissus Dynamite is a Nigerian television host, former model and philanthropist. She's a co-host of the breakfast TV show Wake Up Nigeria on TVC Entertainment. She's also a professional anchor, voiceover artist, voice actor, audio book narrator, and diction trainer. Now, this we're doing because
why Titi?
we get a lot of. I have known Titi for over 20 years.
I'm like, but why are we celebrating? Why is she a woman of the week?
Because of the things she does that you guys do not know. Now, it's important that men, we celebrate our women no matter what and how, we know them because there are amazing women out there.
People always do that.
Us, yeah, men should do that more.
But we always do.
Yeah,
how
men should do
more,
that
bro?
more.
We've done 2 Mother's Day. How many for just last month?
But
And
it's never enough. It's never enough, Kelly. You keep doing it.
You surprised me. Titi is a good friend as well. I thought maybe it was her birthday, something special. I know her husband celebrated something some days ago.
Last week,
So I was wondering whether something had happened, why she was the focus. But shout out to Titi.
Yeah.
Shout out to her too, though. But I think we should have this topic some other time. The people who are not celebrated, they are the men. Let's face facts.
Okay.
I'm not saying we can celebrate them more, though. But the people who are not celebrated.
All right. Before we wrap the show, I want to ask just this random question, and I'm hoping you guys can answer. If you can, then we'll do that. Kelly Ray, when is International Men's Day?
I don't even remember.
Okay. Deck.
It just comes.
International Men's Day is in February now.
February what?
I can't remember.
Okay, gang, go.
Men are celebrated the second Sunday in July every year.
What date?
Second Sunday. There's no particular date. The second Sunday is the day that men are celebrated.
All right. Well said, gang. Gang got it correctly.
Okay, it's correct.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So yes, we will celebrate men more, and that's why.
When did I get February?
You're thinking Valentine because your wife did that surprise to you. You remember what you told us? You're thinking Valentine.
So why is it thinking February?
Well, I don't understand.
All right. On that note, thank you, gentlemen. It's been such a pleasure having you on the show. Deck, always a pleasure to have you, and my man. Wisdom all the time. All right, so we'll be back same time, same station next week. It's the Black Table, the ultimate men's guide. Do have a good night. Remember, the darker the night, the brighter the stars.
Good morning.